Creating a website involves several stages. First, in the design phase, we determine the website's layout, colors, fonts, and user interface. During this process, it is crucial to create a user-friendly design by considering the user experience. Tools like Figma can be used to visually express the design. Once the design is complete, the next step is front-end development. In this phase, we use languages such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to turn the design into a functional web page. It is essential to apply responsive web design to ensure that the website displays well on various devices. For this part, I handled the overall development, while Yuhan Park took care of the responsiveness. The entire website was built based on the Figma file that everyone collaboratively designed. Using HTML and CSS, I implemented the general design, and JavaScript was used for button logic, animation logic, album logic, and subscription logic. Server integration primarily relates to backend development. Backend development involves managing the server, database, and application logic. Common server-side languages include Python and Node.js, and databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MongoDB are widely used. Additionally, to facilitate communication between the server and client, we can design and implement RESTful APIs or GraphQL. This allows the client to exchange data with the server. JSON format is typically used for data exchange, and security can be enhanced with authentication methods like JWT. Maintaining the stability of the server and website requires continuous monitoring and maintenance. This includes log file analysis, performance optimization, and security updates. I used the Fast API framework for the server and SQL Alchemy to connect with MySQL. Although I attempted to add a bulletin board feature, time constraints only allowed me to complete the database integration, and I couldn't implement the bulletin board functionality. However, I hope to challenge myself to achieve this in the future if given the opportunity. So let's talk about code now. At the beginning, we have the head section. It includes scripts for basic CSS and JavaScript. To better understand our users, we have specifically added a script for Google Analytics. Below that, we've added various JavaScript scripts to enhance our web page. First one is chatbot script. To integrate a chatbot, we've included the chat-based script. Next is image slider. For utilizing the BX slider, we've added the jQuery BX slider script. Next is scroll animations. JavaScript is also included to enable scroll animations. Last one is AR model integration. These scripts have been added to utilize an AR model on our site. So this is ORT head part. And next starts with navigation bar. We've wrapped div elements inside the nav tag to make the code more intuitive and visually appealing. Next is first section. The first section is divided using div elements for clarity. As shown, we've used divs to logically and visually separate different parts. Buttons contain tags to facilitate user navigation between pages. Comments are used to make the code easier to read and understand. This part is slider part. To implement BX slider, we've classified the div elements accordingly. Each div has an image so it can slide it smoothly. Lastly, we have an email input field for collecting subscriptions. Now I will show you JS codes. Above file is counter.js. It operates based on the class names in the HTML. It tracks the number of visitors to our page and stores the visitor count in local storage. Bottom side file is encounter.js. This script detects the scroll position on the page and triggers animation effects when certain positions are reached. Now we'll talk about backend section. For the backend, we first create an instance of Fast API. This instance, referred to as app, handles various logical operations. We add the CORS middleware initially. CORS errors commonly occur in communication between the frontend and backend. Typically, this involves controlling which port numbers or IP addresses are allowed. For smooth communication, we have temporarily allowed all origins using a wildcard. We then need to save the received input values into the database. The database connection function accepts parameters like host, username, MySQL password, and the database to be used. If the connection is successful, it returns a connection object. For the review API, when the frontend sends a request to this URI with the specified type, the API returns the appropriate values based on the situation. We have separated the logic into read and post operations, with SQL queries written inside the try with blocks for each.
How to deploy. With Netlify, it's simple. Just link your GitHub address to your site, go through a simple setup, and you'll have a website.